What's up, guys and gals? It's your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys another Pokemon Nuzlocke challenge. This time it is Pokemon Blue, as you guys can tell from the screen and the title. Now, this time it's a little bit different. I was inspired to do this sort of format by a relatively newer YouTuber named FlygonHG. I've been following his content for a couple months now, and his style of doing Nuzlocke challenges and condensing them into more like a highlights reel, a highlights video of 25 to 35 minutes seemed to work for him. And I'm just curious if that's a style you guys are more interested in seeing than just watching me play the entire time. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind doing a Let's Play full-on live streams and stuff, but simple videos like this, maybe it's just a different style of video. I just wanted to try my hand at it and we'll see where it goes. So right off the bat here, as I said, I'm just here watching the already pre-made highlights of my playthrough of Pokemon Blue. And so I'm just going to be commentating right now on what we're seeing on screen. Of course, what you could already see is that I changed the battle style to set. That's pretty standard core Nuzlocke rules. Of course, the core Nuzlocke rules, as we know them, is you must nickname all your Pokemon. Any Pokemon that dies is considered dead or goes into the dead rip box. Once again, only one encounter per every area or route, and if that Pokemon faints or flees, that Pokemon is considered dead and there are no second chances. Also, of course, a blackout, a whiteout is a game over, and battle style must be set. Now, I follow quite a few other option rules, but we'll get into that as we progress. Here we're going to name our rival name as Naya from Naya D. Hemmings. You will find a lot of either my moderators or friends from Discord and such, and also fellow YouTubers will be the names of most of my nicknames for my Pokemon, the rival name, etc., as we go through this. So definitely this is a semi sort of promotion for all of their personal channels as well for any of the YouTubers. Now right here we're already into one of my option rules because of course, we're choosing Charmander, and there's a reason for that. It's not the ideal starter to choose in this Nuzlocke, as a matter of fact. However, Charmander is chosen due to an optional rule that I followed. Once again, all the rules that I follow will be in the description box of this video, but as we go through them, I'd like to explain them because some people don't bother reading the description, right? The reason for that is I follow the starter clause. The starter clause says that it follows the last digit of the trainer's ID, and 1 to 3 is your grass starter, 4 to 6 is your fire starter, 7 to 9 is your water starter, and then 0 is your pick. I believe I got a 6 or maybe a 4. I'm not 100% sure on that. And so in the end, I had to choose Charmander. That's because I followed the starter clause. Now, as you guys would know, in Pokemon Blue and such, there's no way to know that until you get your first Pokemon. So what I ended up doing was I made a save state once I started the game. I picked a Pokemon, I checked my trainer ID, and ironically I had picked Charmander just out of happenstance, and that was the right one to follow. So then I reloaded the game and did it and recorded it anyway. So it's all legit and it's all good. Now right here, of course, we do defeat our rival in our very first Pokemon battle. We get to level 6. We named this guy Dragon after, as I said, we defeated Naya from Naya D. Hemmings and Dragon from Dragon's Rage, one of my moderators, so the name of my Charmander here. So there's plenty other option rules, as I said, and we'll go through them. One of the big things is going to be, of course, the Pokeball clause that a lot of people don't follow, and it makes the game a lot more difficult, and I lose, not necessarily because of this rule, but it does limit it. So right here, I believe this is where we catch our first Pokemon. We catch a Spearow. Once again, Route 1 is already gone because we ran into Pokemon. Now, some people play it until you get Pokeballs. The route doesn't count. I don't play that way. I've never had to play that way. Now, maybe there's a game where that would just be not feasible. But in this case, it is what it is. So right here, we catch ourselves a Spearow, the tiny bird Pokemon, of course. And I forget exactly what we nickname Spearow. Who do we decide that is Spearow? Oh, Vib. Vibhav, who does a lot of the redraws, the cleaning, the typesetting, a lot of things for One Punch Man, Record of Ragnarok. He works on a lot of the manga scans that we all love. So that's definitely a thing. The next one that we catch, of course, is Rattata. We catch ourselves a Rattata. Or Rattata. So many people, I've heard so many pronunciations of Rattatat. Rattatat. And it's like, it's clearly not Rattatat. There's not an extra A there, but Rattata, I guess. This is the only, I believe this is the only, there might be one other Pokemon, but this is the one Pokemon that has nothing to do with my YouTube channel, and it has nothing to do with my Discord or my moderators or anything like that. I name Rattata after my brother. My brother's name is Luke. And I named him that because when we were kids playing these games, Raticate was one of his favorite Pokemon. And he always used Eradicate. 3 Pokemon he always used was Blastoise, Nidoking, and Raticate. He always loved them. So it just felt appropriate to name it after my brother, since we caught one anyways. Now here's where we catch a Metapod. And when we catch this Metapod, I didn't realize what a pain in the ass this was going to be. And another thing, I didn't realize that I'm very used to Pokemon Yellow. I didn't own Blue and Red growing up. I grew up on Pokemon Yellow. So the thing is that the move sets and my memory is from Pokemon Yellow. And I didn't realize that the move sets of Pokemon actually not drastically changed, but were altered for a number of Pokemon. And you can actually look up, there's a difference between the Yellow move set for a fair number of Pokemon and the Red and Blue version, the Red, Blue, and Green. Now we name Metapod Kishin from Kishin Prime, so shoutouts to Kishin as always, right there. And either way, then this is a fun little battle we had right here, where once again, poison back in the day, as some of you veterans will know, is that poison can kill you. You know, outside of battle, and there's no stipulation in a Nuzlocke that a Pokemon dies in battle, it's dead. It means it dies at all. 0 HP means dead. So, at this junction, I have to run back. I don't have an antidote, I believe, at the time. And so I need to use up one of my potions, which we'll talk about the item rules and the PokeMart rules here in a minute, but I have to end up using one of my potions to save my Spearow. Because he got poisoned in Viridian Forest, and if we walk too far and he faints, faint is dead. So right here, I believe, is where we end up. Yeah, we can't make it to the Pokemon Center in time. I tried it, and I knew we probably weren't going to make it, and I end up having to use one of the potions. Now, the reason that I didn't buy any antidotes at the PokeMart is for another one of our optional rules, the item clause. The item clause rule states that we cannot use any items purchased at PokeMarts. You are able to, any items found in world are eligible, but you can't stock up. It makes the game a lot harder when you have to save up your hyper potions and full restores that you find in later parts of the game for the Elite Four. It is possible. It sounds like, oh, so you're telling me that when you get to the Elite Four, if you don't have any full restores, you don't get to buy any? That's right. That's what it's all about. It makes the game that much harder. It makes it that much more difficult. So, once again, I definitely make a super version, I guess, of a Nuzlocke challenge. Where I following the core rules, I would find the challenge almost too easy. So, not only do we have that item clause, so I wasn't able to purchase an antidote even if I had wanted to. Some of you are probably wondering, well, how does that apply to Pokeballs? Hence, another one of the option rules, the Pokeball clause. Every town or any area that it obtains that has a PokeMart, I am allowed to purchase up to 5 of the best ball in the PokeMart. So when we reach Viridian City, I purchased 5 Pokeballs. When we reach Pewter City, I'll purchase another 5 Pokeballs. And when Great Balls become available, Great Balls, Ultra Balls, etc. Yes, we are allowed to use the Master Ball because that is once again a found item in the world. Anything found on the ground, anything given to the player, anything like that is totally legit. The only thing that is not legit is anything outside of Pokeballs purchased. Now, there is one change to that rule when it comes to Pokemon evolutions. I am eligible to buy stones of Pokemon that I currently have alive at the time. Now, once again, it's a sort of a weird stipulation, but either way, getting back to the gameplay here, we did defeat our rival, and now we are going, of course, to the Pewter City Gym. We trained up our Metapod to become a Butterfree and such, so now we're entering the gym. Going into another gym rule here is that once you enter a gym, this is called the Gym Clause optional rule. Once I enter the gym, I cannot leave it, so this is what we're doing. Now our first gym leader is Brock, as we know. I mean, he's pretty basic. it's not going to be very difficult to fight this battle, but as I said before, following the Gym Leader clause, we are going to be showcasing all Gym Leader battles, along with all rival battles. As you guys clearly saw, we kicked Naya's ass. It was not that difficult. And then as I showed you just after that, we did some really speed grinding there. We grinded up for this battle. One of the rules I do not follow, however, out of all the option rules, as I said, the Gym Leader clause states that once you enter a gym, you can't leave. You can avoid trainers if you choose to, but you're losing out on the experience. But that's basically how I make the game more difficult. One of the things I don't follow is the level cap rule. A lot of people follow what's known as the level cap option rule, where you go to the highest level of the gym leader's highest level Pokemon, and you can't, until you beat that gym leader, you can't go beyond that. So either way though, this battle, we are at a severe disadvantage, I feel. Even with all our Pokemon at level, some of them are at level 14, I believe somebody's at level 15 here. We managed to defeat the Geodude pretty handily, as I said, because of Ember. You know, Defense Curl, of course, won't affect that sort of idea. But automatically, Onix starts off with a Bide. He's faster than my Dragon, my Charmander here, and I already use an Ember. That's extremely scary, because now I'm going to assume, even though it did minimal damage, that is going to... Bide is still in effect. That's extremely dangerous. So now I'm thinking about, do I need to sacrifice anybody? You know, we have 3 level 14s and a level 13, but Viv has already taken a significant amount of damage from the trainer with the Diglett and the Sandshrew, and now I'm sort of debating what am I going to do here. This is where I decided to finally pull out Kishin. Kishin, who of course is our Butterfree, and as I explained before, the level difference was quite different. So here we learn from Yellow anyways. So here at level 13, I believe, is when he learned Confusion, and we're betting on Confusion to win us the gym battle. And it works out just fine. But I didn't anticipate the fact that Onix would be faster. I should have, and that was a fatal flaw that could have ended in losing one of our Pokemon. So that's really unfortunate. But here, no sweat, everybody's damaged, but alive. So we haven't lost a Pokemon yet. And here we continue on. So now we encounter our Pidgey. That's our first new Pokemon that we've encountered after Pewter. But a critical hit from a tackle automatically kills the Pidgey, and the root is dead. Very unfortunate. So we're still only got 4 Pokemon. Here's where we encounter a Zubat. And not wanting to murder the poor Zubat, knowing that Dragon here, and this is, I believe, where we check all the stats. I go through and I check all the stats of the different Pokemon, trying to see whose attack stat is the lowest, so we might have a shot at this. And I realized that everybody's is roughly the same, and there's, you know, just no choice. Here's where a Scratch does not kill the Zubat, so I overestimated my own strength, but this is for the best, because now I have the ability to, of course, catch the Zubat. Which we end up doing here. Of course, I wouldn't be showing you guys the loss of a Zubat if that were the case. So we do catch the Zubat. I forget exactly what we call him. I'm forgetting a lot of this. I recorded this weeks ago, guys, so I'm just sort of rewatching with you as we go on here. Who do we call him? Oh, MC Dude. MC Dude. That's exactly what we name him. Another one of my moderators for my chat and stuff. So that's pretty cool, and this, of course, is all in Mount Moon. Now, here's where I screw up, guys. Here's where I screw up. Going up against Eradicate with 24 health with Kishin, I'm overestimating my own power, and 1 Hyper Fang is more than enough to take down Kishin. So, rip Butterfree there. Really, really sad. Then we move on here. We're already at Cerulean. That's the only eventful thing that happens in Mount Moon for the rest of it. This is where we, of course, go up and fight our rival battle. And if you read all the text, everyone says that the rival is a big dick. He's not. The worst thing he ever says to anybody is smell you later. Like, he's actually not a bad guy. He's actually more of a friend than a rival, but either way. So here's where we start off right here with MC Dude. We've trained him up, of course, and of course, I've skipped a lot of the grinding, which I think is the core thing that a lot of these formatted videos are trying to do. I think Flygon HG made the good call to skip a lot of the grinding, because grinding MC Dude in a Nuzlocke is very, very difficult. You don't want to, you're not allowed to just let them die and take the chance for the experience. You have to constantly switch out. You have to constantly run to the Pokemon Center. You have to constantly run back. You know, it's a very difficult thing to do. But here, as you can tell, even with all the sand attacks and all the accuracy losses, at the end of the day, MC Dude is pulling his weight. He's nearly killed a Pidgeotto at this point with Bite, but at this junction, of course, I'm not willing to bet MC Dude's life, where we already just lost Keishan, and we're still down to only 4 Pokemon, which is really, really sad. This is where I pull out Luke, my Rattata, and Quick Attack easily takes down the Pidgeotto. Now, of course, we do take some damage from the Gust from the switch-in and such, but this is where he brings out an Abra, and Abra, I mean, what can Abra really do to me? Hyper Fang says he can't do anything. After this, he pulls out his own Rattata, and Hyper Fang doesn't actually kill him. I was a little shocked by this, and a little pissed off, actually, because then he got a decent hit out on me. Now we're only down to 16 health, and the Squirtle is incoming. So even though we gained a level right there, I'm sort of worried that the Squirtle might be able to pull a fast one on me. So I go for the Hyper Fang, assuming that I'm faster, and I am, but he goes for a Bubble. And that might have been my worst decision, because he might have had something more powerful than that, and but either way, I take the risk. The critical hit did not matter, but I take a risk here, go for another Hyper Fang. Hyper Fang could have potentially missed, I believe, and also because, no, it couldn't have missed because I didn't take the Sand Attack. But either way, it was a bit of a risk. I should have switched out, and I didn't, but it worked out for the best. So this is where we encounter our next Pokemon. We encounter a Bellsprout, which is thank everything, because now we're going to start building up a Grass, Fire, Water core. An essential core, one of the basic and best cores to fight in early games. So we catch this Bellsprout, I mean clearly, but it's definitely a good thing because, as I said, early game Pokemon are not ideal typings. They just aren't. They don't have great movesets, especially back in the older days. Every Pokemon is almost viable by this generation, by now. But back then, there were Pokemon that just flat out sucked. No matter how cool they were, they just sucked. And here we name, what do we name Bellsprout again? Misk. Oh yeah, Misk. Misk content. So definitely go check out his channel. There's the plug for Misk. Now, we also end up catching this Caterpie. We caught the Bellsprout. When you are done with the bridge, you go to the left there, and there's that patch of grass. That's a separate route from this route. And so not only did we catch a Caterpie, we also catch our Bellsprout. Now this is where, once again, gym clause rules, etc., etc. We're standing outside the gym here. I think I'm contemplating on what my strategy is here. I think my strategy is simply use Bellsprout with Vine Whip. Anyway, we get through the gym. We battled all the trainers. And now we're facing Misty. Now, the Starmie is concerning at first. At first, you would consider the Starmie to be concerning, and it truly is. But not against Misk, who evolved into a Weepinbell after we, of course, trained him up. So we trained up Misk. Vine Whip is deadly. Like, this isn't even Razor Leaf. But Vine Whip is easily, there's nothing the Staryu or Starmie can really do. They have Bubble Beam, they have Tackle, they have Recover, they have Harden. None of that, as we see from the high defense of an evolved Bellsprout into a Weepinbell, none of that is going to do anything. Plus, I'm able to set up a couple of growths, or at least one growth there, to now my Vine Whip should be able to take out the Starmie in at least like 2 hits. 2 hits is what I'm assuming here. So the Tackle still does a fair amount of damage, as you guys can see there. But that Vine Whip does over half easily with the setup. The Tackle even misses, and then the Starmie goes down. They were never going to use Bubble Beam, so I don't really know why I was that worried. Once Weepinbell was evolved, or Bellsprout was evolved into Weepinbell, Misk was going to floor this gym, and that's exactly what Misk did. So there's another gym battle. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, this is where we do finally end up catching a Pidgey. We name the Pidgey Fine. That's down right below Cerulean, I believe. And then we continue on. Then we also, of course, catch a Diglett. We catch the Diglett in Diglett's tunnel there. And what do we name the Diglett again? I forget what we named the Diglett. So I'm just showcasing all the Pokemon that we're catching here. Because I believe we catch quite a few in the interim here. What do we call this one? Tenryu. Tenryu the Diglett. Tenryu, another member of the Discord there. And this is the newest Pokemon that we catch, a Sandshrew. We catch a Sandshrew after following Digltt's cave. We jump over to the next area there, and this is where we find ourselves a Sandshrew. Now, some of you might be wondering about the grass outside of Mount Moon. Failed to catch anything, or it was a double duplicate. For those of you who don't know, I have a duplicates clause that states that when you enter a new route, if you run into a Pokemon you have already obtained, you are allowed to try one more time, but that's it. So I probably ran into a Spearow and then a Spearow again, or a Spearow and a whatever, right? So that's just the way that works. You know, I probably ran into a Rattata and then a Spearow. Now I'm going to name Sandshrew here after Sundown Rider, a very good friend of mine. And definitely go check out his channel. He's very busy right now in his personal life, not making a whole lot of YouTube content, but he's still on the One Punch Man podcast featured by Grim Reaper. So definitely go check that out to listen to my boy Sundown. This is where we entered the SSN, we went through the SSN, and now we're fighting our rival here for another time. Let's go, Hemmings. Let's see what you got. So our Luke has evolved into Eradicate. And one Hyper Fang is not quite enough to take down a Pidgeotto. But a quick attack and a Hyper Fang, easy. So then it's Raticate versus Raticate. And here's where we go. What do? It's level 24 versus 16. We know there's no issue here. We know that Luke is going to swamp. Even a Kadabra, a level 18 Kadabra. What a great, definitely making the rival a viable rival back then. You know, giving them an Alakazam, one of the strongest Pokemon in the game. And then here, unfortunately, our Hyper Fang misses. But then the second one hits, and it was only a Water Gun and a Tail Whip, and I've got confidence in the Hyper Fang. It misses again, and we just can't seem to get this on the go. So I end up switching tactics. I go to the quick attack and make short work. But there was no danger of even Luke losing, let alone any other member of our team dying. So that was fantastic. We defeated the rival on the SSN. We move on, we get cut, and then we end up going to the gym. Now this is where, of course, we're fighting Lieutenant Surge. And I wasn't going to show you guys how long it took me to do that goddamn puzzle. Surge, unlike in Yellow, he's got a different mix-up of electric Pokemon. In Yellow, of course, he has a very powerful Raichu. But here, we have Sundown, our lovely Sandshrew, who evolved into a Sandslash. Using the TM for Dig that we got from the Rocket, this is going to be short work. Sandshrew does not have, neither does Sandslash, have a very great move pool on their own, but a combination of TMs and their limited move pool will make Sandshrew extremely viable for the rest of the game. And, I mean, having an Earth-type move like Dig, it's a 2-turn Earthquake. I'm still good with it. Now, Surge, of course, still does have a Raichu, but it's not nearly as powerful as it is in Yellow. And it's going down to 1 Dig. Sundown sweeps Surge without issue. I love this Pokemon. Sandshrew does not get enough love. Or in this case, I guess Sandslash, seeing how he's evolved. And this is where we also receive Thunderbolt, and we catch a Voltorb right outside of Rock Tunnel. Which sort of exciting for me because one of my favorite typings is electric. I love electric type Pokemon, and I really wanted to use them, but I don't think I end up using him for more than just a Flash user. I end up teaching him Flash. We catch a Geodude inside a Rock Tunnel. We end up naming the Geodude. I'm not sure. I also forget what we named the Caterpie. This one will be Satsuki. Yes, we're going to name the Satsuki. Once again, Satsuki the Savage. Go check out his channel. He does a lot of One Punch Man content and stuff like that as well. So yeah, Geodude. Now here is where Viv has already evolved into a Fearow and stuff, and this is where we are in the next route right after Rock Tunnel. Rock Tunnel was quite brutal, but we did survive it, and we didn't lose any Pokemon. I was super excited to catch a Vulpix right outside between where you head from Lavender Town to Celadon City. And I end up naming Vulpix Caden, because, of course, the line of Caden shall never die. And unfortunately, I realized I have a Charmeleon. Why am I so excited about getting another fire type? I was all planned for that, and it was very upsetting. Then we end up getting our gift, our Eevee. So that means we can't surf or anything. Like, once again, this is considered a route. You are allowed to take event Pokemon here. So we name the Eevee Soraya, and then we go buy ourselves a Thunderstone at the Celadon Mart, and we evolve Soraya automatically into a Jolteon. Now, what's going to make this Jolteon so powerful is that we have a TM for Thunderbolt. We don't need to wait to level this guy up to make him viable, or her, I should say. I automatically teach Thunderbolt right here to Soraya, and then, I mean, Thunderbolt's just an amazing move, so it doesn't take much. This is where we, of course, we did the game corner stuff, we infiltrated, and now we're gonna fight Giovanni. As I said before, as far as event Pokemon go, the details are definitely down in the description, but we don't use the daycare, and we are allowed to use or receive event Pokemon, but that means that you count the town as a route. So, for example, Celadon City does have water. I can't fish in that water. I can't surf in that water. I can't get anything at the game corner anymore, which is still viable. Not allowed to do any of that because I chose Eevee. In the same way, you'll see that in Saffron, you have to choose between Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, but you also have to choose if you want the Lapras or not. Now, here, of course, this was a very, very easy victory. Like, considering the ground typing, the ground rock split and everything back then, Dig just ruins Giovanni's day. Sundown completely sweeps just like he did with Surge. The Kangaskhan is a powerhouse. He's a little difficult, a little worrisome, but end up using Rage and Comet Punch. It wasn't going to hold up to Dig and Slash and all these really powerful moves that Sundown has. Sundown grows to level 30, and we defeat Giovanni very handily, as you guys can see. Now then, of course, we enter the 4th gym. After doing the Rocket Corner, we decide to enter the Celadon Gym. Some people do this differently. Some people do the gym first, and then they do the Rocket Corner with the Lavender Town stuff. I do the game corner, then I do the gym, then I go to Lavender Town. Is the way I've always done it. It's a weird order, but either way. Here's where, of course, Dragon comes in really handy. The gym where Rap is the danger. Rap is the name of the game, and Rap is the danger. Poisoned right away. Of course, unlike Jolteon, unlike Soraya, who we were able to teach Thunderbolt to, Charizard is an amazing Pokemon. Unfortunately, back then, long before Flame Wheel and Fire Fang and all these other moves, Flamethrower and Fire Blast. First off, Fire Blast was only a TM at the 7th gym, late in the game, and Flamethrower was only learned by a handful of Pokemon in their high level 40s. So a level 30 might seem viable, but honestly, his move pool is terrible for the majority of the game. So here's where, as I said, we end up healing him up. We can't afford not to. And the Ember moves, though they are doing super effective damage, as you guys can see, they are not that powerful. They are not that strong because Ember is a 40 attack power move. It's not that great, and until we got things like that burn, it was going to be a long attrition battle. But we do end up defeating the Victory Bell. And before I forget, we also did buy a Leaf Stone when we bought the Thunderstone for our Weepin' Bell. Once again, I do allow that one exception because I've limited myself in multiple ways. For example, trade Pokemon, if you're able to do a game hack or whatever for the emulator, I definitely always allow people to evolve their, I don't think it's a disservice to evolve your Graveler into a Golem or your Kadabra into an Alakazam or whatever for the sake of the Nuzlocke. That's totally fine because you're not changing the IVs, the EVs, the movesets, anything like that, the level. All you're doing is getting the final evolution, which you deserve. If your rival is allowed to have them, as far as I'm concerned, so are you. So here's where we pull in Vib. I feel like Dragon did enough, and this is where we're going to go with the Peck. Now, Peck, once again, also, like Ember, not super strong, but now we're going for the physical idea. Ember wasn't doing that hot, pun not intended, and but Peck being the attacking move with the flying typing. I figured that it would work out. And though it was a one of the tougher of all the gym battles we've had to date, still, there was never any concern. It was always relatively an easy victory. So, and I don't know why I'm paused here for so long. Erica says she concedes defeat. Now, apparently I decided to wait around and see what the hell she's talking about. But yeah, so we win the rainbow badge. We have our 4 first gym badges. This is where I believe we end up going to Lavender Town to fight our next rival battle, that is. Because those are the highlights, right? Oh, there we go, yeah. Naiad, what brings you here? Blah, blah, blah. Your Pokemon don't look dead. Of course, the famous theory, which I do prescribe to, is that Raticate died. Raticate is gone. He's not coming back, guys. He's not coming back. Very, very sad. So here is where Soraya, that we have trained up, as you guys can tell, to a respectable level 28, we end up Thunderbolting the shit out of this team. Thunderbolt is, like, I didn't have to do as much running back. The grinding for Jolteon was so easy given Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt was amazing, even against, like, once again, against normal typing Pokemon. Yeah, a few levels down, killed a Growlithe without issue, you know? And even Execute. Okay, so we know the grass typing and blah, blah, blah. Electric ain't going to be that great. The quick attack, decent damage. Decent. Barrage, of course, a terrible move. I decide to go for a Thunderbolt and see what the difference is between the quick attack and the Thunderbolt. And the Thunderbolt nearly kills him. And I'm just like, wow. Wow, okay. But then again, once I see that apparently the Thunderbolt was, it didn't list it as not very effective, I believe. I could be mistaken about that. There was a few, in my notes, there's a few things that don't say not very effective when they should be. And I am curious about the game mechanics, whether they actually were super effective or not super effective. Because the sound effect and the statement never stated anything different. And the damage makes me think otherwise. But either way, it is what it is. We go to level 29. So now, of course, we're fighting the Kadabra, but Kadabra's level 20. We are way over leveled for this fight, and we completely destroy him. This is why a lot of people say they do Erica's gym, or they do Game Corner Lavender Town and then Erica's gym, or you do the gym, then you do the Game Corner, then you do Lavender Town. But either way, clearly our rival who got his ass kicked completely swept by Soraya, our Jolteon. Jolteon, Vaporeon, Flareon. I love EVs. I love almost all the EVs. Honestly, I like all the EVs. There's just some I like more than others. Like the first 5 are the best in my opinion. But this is where we try to, once again, after we defeat Lavender Town and all that stuff, we I do believe I caught a Ghastly, but the footage looked really bad for some reason. I forget why. I was recording that day and the footage seemed to be like really choppy or something. So we did end up catching a Ghastly, but we don't end up using it, so it's fine. Here's where we attempt to catch a Snorlax, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over him. I'm not, pun not intended that time either, man. I'm doing a lot of puns. I'm definitely not going to lose any sleep over not getting Snorlax. Snorlax would be a viable Pokemon to have. Snorlax is a tank. He's one of the biggest tanks, but the thing is, I'm not willing to risk losing any of the Pokemon on my current team right now for the sake of maybe catching this guy. So I show you guys the battle so you guys know exactly what happened here with Snorlax. And as you can see, Great Balls, I'm very limited, and here's where the Pokeball rule comes into serious play. The Pokeball rule comes into serious play here because I'm limited. I can't just go buy 25, 30 Great Balls and then attempt this. I'm only limited to 5 Great Balls. If I end up wasting them all on Snorlax, and then something better comes along later on down the line that I really want to catch, that only if I had 6 Great Balls, not 1, right? So, either way, after this is where, as we make our way to Fuchsia, here's where something terrible happens. Halfway through the route to Fuchsia, for some reason, I'm not paying a whole lot of attention. I'm doing this on using the speed function and all these things. I use a Hyper Fang. I'm attacking this trainer. It's no big deal. We kill the Pidgeotto without issue. I use the Hyper Fang. It misses. It misses again. Fearow copies a mirror move, and 3 of my Hyper Fangs end up missing while his mirror moved Hyper Fang hits. And there goes Luke. That was my own mistake, not paying enough attention to what was going on. That one sand attack completely ruined Hyper Fang, and now Hyper Fang missed almost every time except for once against the Fearow. It missed 3 times out of 4, and so we lost Luke. And honestly, I really liked the Raticate. I was attached to Luke. We've had Luke since the beginning of the game, so that really sucked. We catch ourselves a Magikarp later on, and we name it Fuse, from that same route where we lost Luke. And then I believe here's where we need to switch something out, and I forget what it is. Who are we switching out here? MC Dude, yes. We take MC Dude back because we lost Luke, right? We deposited MC Dude when we made our when we had our new team, and now also Charizard evolves during the time at or Charmeleon evolves into Charizard during our assault on the Saffron City Tower, and this is where we fight our rival battle again, of course, in the Rocket Hideout in the Saffron Tower. Now this battle, I forget how this one goes. Okay, so he's finally got some viable goddamn Pokemon. Level 37, huge jump in levels for his Pokemon. Even Soraya is actually 2 levels lower than his starting Pokemon. But a Thunderbolt will not take no for an answer, and we one-shot that. Growlithe, level 38. Once again, higher level than my Pokemon. Really, seriously. This is where Thunderbolt cannot take out the Growlithe in 1 hit, but it can do it in 2. So we're trying to sweep here with Soraya. We don't have any electric boosting moves or anything like that back then, but we're just trying to do our best. Best. Execute jumps in, and this time I'm not taking any chances where they're even leveled, and I pull out our brand new Charizard. Of course, Hypnosis hits. That's really annoying, but I wake up right away. They Execute tries for a Leech Seed, which is a good idea, good strategy, good move, but it actually missed, and I was amazed. Pulls up a Reflect, but of course Ember is not really going to be affected. So critical hit and everything in between, no big deal. So Charizard stays out to fight against his brand new Alakazam, level 35. He starts off with a Recover. I have no idea why the AI would attack with Recover. Slash is our best bet here because not only did it get a critical hit right off the bat, but it's also high critical hit ratio. It's our best move. We get double critical hits, not that the second one mattered, and the Alakazam goes down without much of a fight. This is where he pulls in Blastoise. Now, against Blastoise, I'm thinking, okay, what do I do? I've got a few options here. But the problem is that Blastoise is level 40, high hitting. So I figure let's start off with something neutral. Let's go with Drill Peck. He used Withdrawal, which really sucks. Then he goes for a second Withdrawal. So the defense is rising. Drill Peck, of course, being a physical move as far as I'm aware from the split back then. So I'm not too happy about that. I don't think flying was physical back then, I believe. Yeah, and looking at that damage, it really was. But so far, he hasn't really hit us. Then he starts to hit us with a Water Gun, and I realize I'm going to lose the battle of attrition here. So, we jump in with Misk, who I was sort of worried about, and looking at that, that's sort of why. I don't want to take the chance to lose Misk. I'm waiting to gain Razor Leaf before to evolve him. So here's where I jump back into Soraya, who is our other, who all he needed to do was that one withdrawal. He didn't attack Soraya. Thunderbolt, of course, is our saving grace once again. So Soraya did not sweep the team, but fundamentally required to win this battle. So Soraya wins the battle. Super happy, super stoked. We beat Naya D. Hemmings once again. Though I'm sure Naya is a Pokemon master, guys, so I'm pretty sure, he's one of the Digidestined too. He's also the Pharaoh of Egypt. He's the triple threat. He really is. But here we do end up winning without losing a single Pokemon. But we did lose Luke to that bird keeper. That was very unfortunate. Now we do take the Lapras here. We named the Lapras Doctaro after one of my somebody who's been in my streams before, who comments on my videos and etc. You know, just a subscriber, but sometimes you got to do the shout out there too. So yeah, I definitely want to use Lapras. It's finally time to complete the Grass, Fire, Water core here, and Lapras is the way to do it. Now, here we also fight, of course, Giovanni right after the rival battle. I don't know if I think this is where, I think I skipped this part. Did I train up Lapras? I think I did. Let's see. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I haven't done that yet, because because Lapras we get at level 15, and training up a Lapras in a Nuzlocke takes a lot of time and a lot of patience, and I remember having to do that. But Lapras is a very, very viable Pokemon, so strong, and I had to make a choice. Do we use a Lapras, or do we use a versatile Hitmonchan? Do we use Hitmonlee? Who do we choose in Sapphire? Who do I use? And I decided that there's no better water-type Pokemon that's going to be available to me this easily than a Lapras. Lapras is so viable with the ice typing, with the physical attack, and the just, you know, everything. Just everything. So, I believe Lapras is water-ice. Maybe she's not. I think she is. But either way, Ice Beam and all that stuff. Lorelei uses her. It's fantastic. So, here, as you can see, we're having a bit of a struggle here. It's not meant to be a struggle. It's just that I'm really trying to get Misk leveled up, I believe, at this point, because I think it's level 37 or 38, where Weeping Bell learns Razor Leaf, and then I can use a Leaf Stone to evolve Weeping Bell to Victory Bell. I didn't want to give up our best Grass-type move that we're going to get in the game for that. So, here's where we end up using Slash. We change back to Sundown against the Kangaskhan once again. The Kangaskhan, once again, a viable Pokemon, but what a terrible moveset, clearly, because the Rage building, sure, but look at the damage output that I'm doing right now. Like, by the time you catch up with that, by the time you Fury Cutter me all to hell, I've already killed you. So it didn't really do much. We're down to half health. That's fine dandy, but now you're down to a Rhyhorn, which, first off, I'm faster because I'm a Sand Slash, and second off, one dig is going to... You're gone in one hit. So it doesn't matter about the extra level, it doesn't matter about any of that stuff. Nidoqueen, same idea. Nidoqueen would be extremely scary, but I'm not even faster, had an opportunity there, but used Tail Whip and then Scratch. I even didn't kill after the first hit. Uses another Scratch. Like, how was Sundown ever going to lose this fight? Nidoqueen goes down. We defeat Giovanni once again. Sundown reaches level 37. We're going to need to buff up our Pokemon now, though, because the guys like Giovanni and our rival, they are starting to creep up to that level 40, and we're still in the mid-30s. So we need to definitely take care of that. So we're halfway through the game. We've got 4 out of 8 gym badges, and I feel like this is a great stopping point. What did you guys think of the video, though? Like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know down below. The second part of this video is being recorded as we speak, so we will definitely be out with that video very shortly after the release of this one. But I'm curious if you guys like the style I'm doing this in, like the format. Am I going too quickly? Is the gameplay too fast? Or do you want me to slow it down? Do you want me to speed it up? I mean, this video I think was almost 50 minutes long, so maybe it's too long, maybe it's too short. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Or do you prefer when I just do it in a live stream format and I show you guys everything as I go through every trainer battle and go through every route? That's up to you guys. Do you have a problem with the editing? Do you have this? Do they have that? I'm always looking for constructive criticism as always. So definitely like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to drink responsibly as always. As you can tell, I always do. We will see you guys back here next time for the final part 2 of the Blue Nuzlocke playthrough. See you guys later on.